I caught my dad wearing my mother's clothes. Now I'm blackmailing him and I've lost all respect for him. It happened by accident. I came home early one day and saw the light on in my parents' room. I thought no one was supposed to be there, so I went in. That's when I saw him. My dad standing in front of the mirror wearing one of my mother's dresses. It didn't fit right, but that wasn't the worst part. He looked comfortable, like he'd done it 100 times before. We locked eyes and I watched panic spread across his face. He stammered, tried to explain, but I didn't listen. I just turned and walked out. He must have thought that was the end of it, that I'd keep his secret out of shame or loyalty, but I wasn't about to let it go. Later that night, I confronted him. I told him that if he didn't give me what I wanted, I'd tell Mom everything. He begged, pleaded with me not to, tears in his eyes. I almost felt bad for him. Almost. But then I remembered the image of him, and something twisted inside me. This was power. So, I made my demands. Money, favors, a new car. He tried to push back at first, saying I was being unreasonable, but a few threats about what Mom would think shut him up quickly. He handed over the cash and I watched him crumble. Now, I have him exactly where I want him. Every time he sees me, there's fear in his eyes. Fear that I'll expose him, that I'll shatter whatever little bit of respectability he thinks he has left. And honestly, I like it. I like watching him sweat, knowing that I hold his entire life in my hands. People think you should always respect your parents, that you owe them something just because they raised you. But sometimes they show you who they really are, and you realize they're weaker than you thought. So tell me, how far would you go if you held someone's deepest secret?